Moving into higher consciousness. This is chapter 7, part of spiritual growth, becoming your higher self by Sanaya Roman. As you become your higher self, you'll experience many higher states of consciousness. These states, they come naturally with your increased observation, your attention, and your awareness. They come from your greater attunement with the higher dimensions and your growing ability to exist in more dimensions than just your earthly reality. They come as you grow more fluid, believe that anything is possible, and open your mind to explore the unknown. Now, you can consciously develop skills of higher consciousness by increasing your awareness. Everything you do has more levels to it than usually you pay attention to. There's much more going on around you than you're normally aware of. And as you become more observant and aware, you'll notice that the subtle energies that exist all around you, they're always present, and you can work with them to change your reality. Now, the benefit of this lecture and this discussion today for you personally is to understand how to change your life by moving to the higher levels of consciousness. Literally change your life. Because as Buddha has said, and many of the greats have said in one way or another, we become what we think about. So moving into higher levels of consciousness really opens up your awareness, changes your purview, and therefore your perception on who you are and what it is that you are able to do. Now, specifically, today we're going to learn how to consciously create. You're going to learn how to consciously create the results in your life that once before they seem like miracles. What we want to do is get to the point where we don't use the word miracle. We want to get to the point where we're able to think creatively, consciously, what Abraham calls becoming a conscious creator. Because we're creating all the time, whether we are on the path or not, whether we are engaged in higher levels of consciousness and spiritual activity, or we're just sheep. We're all creating. Some of us are conscious of it. Most of us, unfortunately, are not. So the goal is, since we're creating anyway, why not create what we want? Why not end up with the desired manifestation as opposed to one that's undesirable? Now, as you become more aware, you'll bring the consciousness of your higher self into areas that used to be unconscious. So hopefully higher self is not a new term to you. If it is, go back to chapter 1 and listen to Transform Your Life, Connecting with Your Higher Self. All of the preceding chapters are based on and predicated on your ability to connect with your higher self. And in doing so, you can raise your consciousness in areas that previously were unconscious. You may have vivid dreams or dreams that give you messages and guidance about your life. I can attest to this personally. When I first got on the path and I began to seek and want to understand higher levels of consciousness and different perspectives of spirituality as opposed to religion, much of what is in this book resonates with me because it happened to me. But even before I read this book, the reason why I want to bring it to you is because I believe that it can help you as well. You will find, unfortunately, that there are not a lot of people you can talk to about this because they're not on the path. And although they may love you and you may have a relationship with them, a friendship, or association with them, it's not going to make a lot of sense. They're not going to be very interested, and some just won't care because it doesn't make sense to them. They're not able to see it from your perspective. So for me, it was beneficial when I read this book to confirm that a lot of the things that I was experiencing that I couldn't really share with anyone else, that was a part of it. That was a part of being on the path. Having vivid dreams, having messaging come to you in the shower while you're asleep, or having these thoughts are just thinking of something and then it appearing and then it, coming into your life in some sort of way. Now, as you become more of your higher self, you may have a greater awareness of your psychic abilities, which is kind of what I'm talking about here. You may find yourself knowing things without knowing how you know them. You might find yourself anticipating what people are going to say before they even speak, or even completing sentences for them. You may have a sense that something is going to happen, and it does. You might think of someone and run into her or him after having thought of them, shortly thereafter. That literally happened to me. I was sitting actually in a church. This is maybe about 6 years ago. And I thought about a person not very long. I hadn't seen this person in, 5, 6, 7 years. And I had no way of contacting them. And literally, I turned around 10, 15 minutes later, and the person was 4 rows behind me. So when you're in that flow, you're in that zone, you're connected to your higher self, these sorts of things happen on a regular basis. And again, this book helped me confirm a lot of what I was experiencing and begin to understand what it is and what's happening within me. Because you want to be able to utilize these types of energies for your benefit, Now, developing the increased awareness and sensitivity of your higher self, such as any clairvoyant sight and or telepathic or psychic abilities, it gives you more personal power and it gives you more personal perspective. This is your benefit here. Now, this is how you're going to learn to create results that you want. Now, with these increased clairvoyant abilities, you can and you will gain another dimension of consciousness. And this will help you. This will let you operate even more powerfully in your normal reality. So whether it is that entrepreneurship that you have been contemplating, whether it is a career change, whether it is in a relationship, your ability to connect with your higher self and to be able to gain access to your innate clairvoyant abilities, psychic abilities, and simply connect into that ultimate power source, the universal mind. That's really what we're talking about. Because some people get kind of freaked out when you say clairvoyant or psychic. You get to looking, thinking maybe about 900 numbers, TV and these commercials where people have cards and all sorts of things. And I'm not saying that's not a thing, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is being able to connect with the universal mind, the source of all things, and to be able to have that energy flowing in and through you all the time. Of course, you're going to be conscious of things. Of course, you're going to be on a higher plane than you are now. You're going to have access to much more information. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be a conscious creator. Or better said, you are a conscious creator. You simply have to step into it. Now, as part of your empowerment, this higher level of consciousness will allow you to operate in a more powerful way in your regular day life, your normal reality. You'll understand how to consciously create results that, like I said, once seemed like miracles. You'll gain an increasing ability to heal yourself, to stay centered and to stay balanced, to know who you are, and to increase positive energy all around you. That's really what we all want. That's like the point of all of our lives. So I'll say that again. You'll gain an increasing ability to heal yourself, particularly now in the day and age where pandemic seems to be, flooding across the world and people are fearful and everybody's, fearful for their health. Here's an ability to be able to heal yourself. Stay centered and balanced, so that you don't get knocked off your center when every news story comes out or some politician says something outrageous. You don't go running for the hills or running under your bed or anything like that. There's power in knowing that you're connected to the universal source of all things. There's power in knowing that. Not only that, but you'll stay centered and balanced, and you'll know who you are. So many of us have wandered, and I'll say it that way, most of our lives, not knowing who we are, why we're here, what is it that we're supposed to do. Connecting to your higher self, connecting and moving into the higher realms of consciousness allows you to know who you are and what your overall purpose is. I don't think there's any more satisfying existence than to know for sure who you are, what your purpose is, why you're here, and actually to be involved in that and to know that you're adding value to your local and to your world communities. And lastly, increase your energy all around you. That's what you want to do. You want to increase the energy of your friends and your associates and your family, anyone that comes around you. You want people to leave your presence in a upbeat and a much better state than when they came. You know, things like, hey, I love hanging out with her, or I love whenever that guy calls because he's always so positive and I always feel better. These are the things that we want to leave behind. We want our light to shine and it to become contagious to those who are around us. Now, how you use these abilities will determine whether or not they serve your higher good. Again, it's up to you. They'll contribute to your spiritual growth if you use them to serve and empower others as tools to create your life's purpose. Obviously, you don't want to use these powers for anything negative because the universe is not going to reward that, and you're going to be counterproductive. Your clairvoyant abilities will increase as you become your higher self. Your clairvoyant abilities, your abilities to sense, see, and hear information beyond what is available to your physical senses, they'll increase and allow you to become more sensitive to subtle energies. That's something that really we take for granted. We have created, one of the things that this pandemic has allowed us to do is slow down. Because prior to this, we were so busy with our lives that we could not hear still small voices. We could not feel subtle energies because we're moving so fast. We're so busy just doing busy stuff, busy work. It's not really materializing to a whole lot of anything. So one good thing that's coming out of this pandemic and these shelter-in-place orders is that people are forced to slow down and smell the roses, if you will, and really decide what's important in life. And so this will be able to help you because you can be able to sense subtle energies, and that's important. Now, you may sense other people's physical, emotional, and mental energy bodies as well. You may also be able to sense where people's energy patterns lack harmony, and that's going to benefit you, of course, in a multitude of ways. If you are thinking about entering into a business with a particular person and the energy just doesn't feel right, that's that subtle urge to say, hey, this shouldn't go any further. Same way in a relationship, a romantic relationship. So you've got to be in tune with your higher self and moving into these higher levels of consciousness to be able to sense that in order to be able to use it. Now, as you grow, you'll discover more about your own energy systems. You'll learn how to work with energy and how to heal yourself and even transmute food into your body. By working at an energy level, you can create dramatic changes in yourself. You can create dramatic changes within yourself. Now, as you develop these powers of higher consciousness, you will gain a larger and larger perspective of the universe, which is who you are. You're an individual and unique expression of the universe. You are the universe. You're the way the universe is expressing itself right now. You're the way the universe is realizing itself, experiencing itself. Your beliefs and your thoughts about what is possible will change. Of course they will change. As your consciousness rises, you will reconsider things differently. You will reconsider how you eat, how you interact with people, what music you listen to, what TV shows you watch. Why? Your energy is changing. You are changing. Your ability to affect matter and produce physical results will increase. As you're able to influence people and things with greater skill, you'll discover your sense of responsibility increasingly simultaneously. Again, as you are able to influence people and things with greater skill, as you get better with this, with greater skill, you'll discover your sense of responsibility increasingly simultaneously. So your responsibility goes up. All these powers, telepathy, clairvoyance, enhanced psychic abilities, all of these will give you more clarity and knowledge to assist others to reach their higher wisdom also, which, listen, that's really why we're doing what we're doing. Again, we want to assist our local and world communities. We are, my favorite example about who and what we are is more of a pipe and less of a sink. A lot of people want to be a sink. They want to fill up. They want to get as much for themselves and, put the stopper in the sink and you just fill it. Well, that's really not what we're here for. We're always here for the other. And the reason we're here for the other is because the other is the self. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all one. And so as much as you can allow the universe to flow through you and allow the blessings and the increase and these things that are coming from a beneficial standpoint to flow out to other people, the universe will pour more and more into you because it understands and knows that it can trust you to get out to the local and world communities. Because that's what we want. We want this to become contagious. We want this environment. We want everybody to be on a higher level of consciousness. Why? Because we want people to make better decisions. Why? Because we want to live in a better world. Now, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. And as we always do, we're going to have a part 2 to this, which is moving into higher consciousness meditation. And I trust that you will stick around for that and move straight into that video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, True Higher Selves. It's our pleasure to bring to you this great content week in and week out, day in and day out, I should say. And also, any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comment area. Take a look in the description below as well. And please download the free ebook that we have there. It is a guide on the benefits of daily yoga and daily meditation practice. It is completely free. It's from us to you. Thanks again, and we will talk to you tomorrow.